You know those rare nights when the NFL doesn't just make headlines, it erupts? When one tweet detonates across social media, and suddenly the entire league feels different. That's what happened tonight. My phone buzzed, and in that single moment, everything changed. Talk Sports, a powerhouse with over 2.4 million followers and a reputation for rocking the sports world, fired off a message that sent shockwaves through fan bases coast to coast. 49ers fans make stunning Shedeur Sanders trade demand after major Brock Purdy setback. I stared at the words on my screen like they were glowing in neon. This wasn't rumor blog fluff. This was a tremor that could split open the NFL landscape. Let's be clear. You don't just casually drop Shedeur Sanders' name into trade speculation unless something serious is brewing. Sanders isn't a disposable piece on a depth chart. He's a name that carries weight, charisma, and star potential. His jersey sales are proof enough of that. The Browns had positioned him as part of their future. Publicly, they've been smiling, shaking hands, and telling us we're happy with where he's at. But behind those cameras, something isn't lining up. If Cleveland even entertains the idea of trading him, they're sending a message louder than any press conference. They're not sold on his progress. And I can't sugarcoat it. If they move him now, after all the talk of building around him, I'm going to be furious. Enter the San Francisco 49ers, a franchise that doesn't just play it safe. They swing for the fences. With Brock Purdy sidelined, their season's stability suddenly feels fragile. Their fans can smell opportunity, and they're not whispering, they're chanting. They're demanding management pull off something bold. Picture it. Sanders in that iconic red and gold, leading a powerhouse roster hungry for redemption. The Bay Area energy is electric, the kind that makes a rumor feel like an inevitability. This isn't just chatter anymore. This is a drumbeat that could reshape two franchises. Then the whispers start to get specific. I hear, and Rizzo confirms, that Shedeur isn't even taking scout team reps. Let that sink in. Your potential future quarterback isn't even running plays in practice. He's standing there, helmet in hand, watching others. Meanwhile, Bailey Zapp, a late emergency signing, is under center for the scout team. That's not a coincidence. In the NFL, reps are currency, and denying them is a message. It's as if Cleveland is already preparing for life without Sanders, whether they'll admit it or not. And for a league that thrives on reading between lines, this is a giant, flashing signal. Other teams aren't missing it. Scouts across the league are circling like hawks. They're making calls, running cap calculations, imagining Sanders in their colors. They know how rare these windows are. Talented quarterbacks with star power don't just fall into your lap. Browns fans, meanwhile, are in open conflict. One faction believes patience will pay off, that Sanders is a young QB who simply needs time to blossom. The other is exasperated, convinced the Browns system is stifling him, and that a clean break would benefit everyone. The debate isn't quiet. It's raging in comment sections, on podcasts, in every sports bar from Cleveland to LA. And then Kevin Stefanski steps to the podium. Cameras click, reporters lean in, and he drops a line that will haunt this franchise for weeks. Sometimes teams just can't keep every player. In another context, maybe it's harmless. But not here. Not now. Not when your fan base is on edge. He tries to backpedal later, softening his tone, framing it as a general statement about the business of football. But you can't unring that bell. Those words linger like smoke after an explosion. They make every Browns supporter wonder if the unthinkable is already in motion. Here's the reality. If the Browns trade Shedeur Sanders, it won't be just another line on the transaction wire. It will be a seismic event. It would send ripples through the AFC North, tilt the NFC's balance, and redefine the future for at least two franchises. It would shake the faith of a fan base that has been told over and over to trust the process. And it would elevate San Francisco from opportunistic to downright ruthless. Moves like this rewrite seasons, reshape legacies, and turn ordinary Sundays into NFL history. So as I sit here, watching this story evolve, I can feel the tension rising. The tweets keep coming, the insiders keep whispering, and every new scrap of information feels heavier than the last. We're watching a drama unfold in real time, and its ending is far from written. Stay with me, because if Cleveland pulls this trigger, if Shedeur Sanders packs his bags for the Bay, the aftershocks will be felt everywhere. And when that happens, you'd better believe I'll be right here, breaking it all down with you, heartbeat by heartbeat, as the NFL world shifts under our feet. Stop what you're doing, because the NFL rumor mill just went from a whisper to a roar. You can almost feel the tension building across the league, every podcast, every sports talk show, Every fan forum is lit up tonight. The name at the center of it all? Shedeur Sanders. A few weeks ago, his name was being tossed around casually, just another quarterback prospect waiting in the wings. But now, his future is the storm that's swallowing two franchises whole. And it's not just the San Francisco 49ers sniffing around anymore. The Miami Dolphins have stepped straight into the spotlight, and their fan base is no longer content to sit quietly in the stands. In Miami, you can hear the frustration echoing from South Beach to the nosebleeds. Tua Tagovailoa, once the golden hope, is crumbling under pressure. Costly fumbles, hesitant reads, drives that die just as momentum begins to build. Every misstep is another crack in the Dolphins' carefully built optimism. Fans aren't just restless, they're furious. They're tired of heartbreak seasons and false dawns. Social media is flooded with photoshopped images of Sanders in aqua and orange, hashtags like #BringShedeur and videos of fans begging the front office to make a bold move. To them, Sanders isn't just a player, he's a lifeline, a chance to hit reset before the season spirals completely out of control. But this isn't a simple trade scenario. Behind the scenes in Cleveland, the Browns' ownership is drawing a line in the sand. Jimmy Haslam isn't some detached executive flipping through a scouting report. He's personally invested. He sees Sanders as more than a backup. He sees a future franchise quarterback who can rewrite the narrative in Cleveland, a city aching for a hero. Haslam has reportedly made his position crystal clear. Sanders deserves a shot, and he's not ready to watch another team reap the rewards of the talent they drafted. Then Colin Cowherd takes to the airwaves and pours gasoline on an already raging fire. He doesn't hedge, he doesn't whisper, he flat out speculates that Sanders could be starting by November. Imagine it, Thanksgiving weekend, the Browns' season on the brink, and Sanders jogging out of the tunnel with 70,000 fans screaming his name. The cameras would flash. The crowd would swell. The NFL world would hold its breath. In that single moment, Sanders could go from rumor to revelation. Yet here's the part that's leaving fans and analysts stunned. Despite all this noise, despite the ownership's backing, Sanders isn't even running scout team, reps the emergency quarterback is. Think about how wild that is. The one player who could salvage a sinking season is being kept in the shadows. To fans, it feels like sabotage or fear, management stalling, buying time, trying to delay the inevitable. It's a tug of war, an owner pulling for bold action on one end, a cautious front office and coaching staff clinging to patience on the other. And with every passing week, the stakes climb higher. Every loss isn't just another mark in the standings, it's another crack in the Browns' identity. Kevin Stefanski and his staff can't hide from this forever. If the losses pile up, the calls for change will be deafening. You can almost feel the clock ticking, the walls closing in. Fans are asking, analysts are speculating, and rival teams are circling. The Dolphins could make their move. The 49ers could swoop in. In a league where fortunes can change overnight, one phone call could flip the entire script. Now imagine the other side of this story. Picture Sanders finally getting his chance, stepping under center, reading the defense, and delivering a perfect strike that sends the stadium into a frenzy. One game like that, even one drive like that, could be enough to make Cleveland fall in love. Jerseys would sell out overnight. The media would crown him the savior. And the Browns' front office? They'd have no choice but to ride the wave. But if Cleveland hesitates too long, if they let fear and caution dictate their moves, the nightmare scenario is just as vivid. The Dolphins could seize the opportunity, and Sanders could become the heartbeat of Miami's future. Years from now, fans in Cleveland might look back on this exact moment and wonder how they ever let it slip through their fingers. This isn't just another transactional rumor or a boring mid-season debate. This is a franchise-defining decision playing out in real time. It's the kind of drama that can reshape careers, cities, and legacies. And for Shedeur Sanders, this is more than just another headline. It's the opening chapter of what could be an extraordinary NFL story. So tell me, what's your take? Should the Browns throw caution to the wind and hand Sanders the keys before the season collapses? Or do they stick to their slow-burn strategy and risk losing him altogether? Is Miami the perfect place for him to make his mark, or will Cleveland finally take a leap of faith and back their own future? Drop your thoughts below, because whatever happens next, we're about to witness a turning point that the entire NFL will remember.